Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in. We only have a few seconds left. About 10 seconds left. Get settled on in. Grab your coffee, because this episode is about to start. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 4 of Crawler Theory Podcast. This is exciting. It's a long time coming. I know we took a break in the previous weeks, but it is good to be back. It is good to be in the new studio and all that good stuff. As you could see, we have a very special guest with us today, a familiar face, and not only familiar face, but also a familiar name. We have with us, known as Lion. He's been with the community for a very long time, and I could not think of a better person to talk about what we are going to cover today than this man right here. So, with nothing further to do, Lion, go ahead, introduce yourself. How long have you been gaming? How long have you been a content creator? Tell us something cool about yourself. Anything you'd like to share. The stage is yours. Welcome into episode 4.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that, Bitsy. First and foremost, I want to say I appreciate you a lot for bringing me on the podcast. It's an honor to be here. But yeah, so I have been gaming since early childhood, probably around the age of 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, dang, okay.
My first ever system was a Sega Genesis.
Okay, so way older than what I would ever remember.
Yeah. So definitely started very young and just progressed over the years. So
nice.
As far as content creation goes, I think my very first stream I ever did was on the PS4.
Ooh, okay.
And it was for the Tom Clancy's The Division beta.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah. So it was definitely a surprise getting into content creation, watching some of the more well-known content creators that we have nowadays. Is what inspired me to pursue, making YouTube videos, streaming on Twitch, and things of that nature as well. So, I've been at it for a couple of years now, and I enjoy it greatly with a passion.
Nice. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. With the intros out of the way, I will just prelude and say this has been a topic. What we're going to cover today has been a topic that not only that Lion and I have talked about multiple times, but something that's just been like huge part of my mentality as a content creator and as a streamer, gamer for the past couple years, but only in the past I probably 2 to 3 years has it really been accentuated, and I've had more of a robust understanding and maybe a little bit more of a sense of urgency of maybe this is a bigger deal than what the first couple years of streaming that I've alluded to. So and so I'm very excited to jump in. That being said, the title, if you were for this podcast, would be Gaming, Mental Health, and I would probably say Gaming, Mental Health, just one segment there. Gaming, Mental Health, and the correlation of what those things have to do with content creation. So gaming, mental health, content creation, any combination that you want to put in that slot, that's what we're going to be talking about. I guess to kick things off, I would love to dive into the very essence of what is the mentality, what is the driving force that even got us here in the first place, right? What was the driving factor that was, I want to start streaming on my PS4. Both of us have been there. A lot of my friends have been there, and we started, this little journey of starting up a stream on our console, and 3, 4, 5 people start showing up, and we're just like, oh, okay, people want to watch video games, right? That's kind of the most simplistic mindset for
Yeah.
in the beginning, and that's fantastic. You're starting to grow some fans and audience and viewership, and then somewhere along the line, somewhere along the road, it's like, I wonder if I could go bigger, and I wonder if I could grow this even more.
Yeah.
So that is an entire journey. Like the first couple years of streaming for me, I know that was an entire journey for, like, as a realization of like, people want to watch video games. Okay, what do I do with that?
Yeah.
So that's gonna like be the first like couple steps, and then kind of what do we how did we or what tools did we use to grow on the platform of choice? And man, we're just gonna unpack that. There's like so much on my mind right now. We're just gonna slowly unpack.
Yeah.
So like, what is the driving force of being a content creator for you? What is the first, like, when did the switch turn on for you of like, you know what, I have 4 viewers watching me on my PS4. What do I do with this? Or I want to do something more with this. What are the steps you're gonna do?
Yeah. So the driving force for me, um, and I'm gonna refer back to what I said in the very beginning of this podcast. Watching um, a lot of bigger streamers and YouTubers
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, especially Gold Glove.
Yeah.
He was
Yep.
big into his DayZ days on YouTube,
Yep.
and following that type of content really kind of was like, this is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I even showed, my parents, like, there are people who do this for a living, and
Right.
people love to watch this content. Not only is it funny, but you get to see different people playing the same game you're playing,
Yeah.
but differently as well. Right?
Yep.
Everybody has their own way of playing a certain game. And so a buddy that I had met through online gaming on PS4, we were super hype about the Division. And I had done a couple of smaller streams on the PS4 with a couple of people
Yep.
beforehand, and I enjoyed it. And they were regulars who came around, so I had that sense of somewhat of a community and a welcoming from those
Mm.
couple of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but when the Division beta came out on the PS4, there were a lot of server issues. People were having issues logging in.
Mm.
And I just had the bright idea, like, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and throw up a stream on my
Yeah.
PS4 and see how it goes. And it turns out I was one of the few people who made it past the server login issues and actually got to play the beta while most people were struggling.
Dang.
Um, and that kind of just flooded in views because people wanted to see gameplay and they didn't want to see, people just struggling to get into the server. They wanted to see what the game looked like, how it felt. Um, and before I knew it, the view counter was at 4 or 5, and then it
Mm-hmm.
jumped to 15, and then
Yep.
it jumped to 40, and then we're looking at
Dang.
numbers over 100 plus people, and everybody's going crazy in the chat asking how the game is, and it for me at a young age it was very overwhelming. Um, Not
Mm-hmm.
only was it gave me that kind of that tingly feeling all over, that great sensation that you
Yep.
get when you're super excited,
Yeah.
but it was also an adrenaline rush as well. To know that, wow, like this many people from around the world are watching me specifically
Yep.
play this beta.
Yep.
And so, kind of having that feeling after that initial stream, I immediately went onto my computer and started Googling as much information as I could
Yeah.
about content creation, about Twitch, what Twitch was, how do I get started, what do I need,
Mm.
what are the components to make a better quality stream.
Absolutely.
And from there, it just kind of spiraled out of control.
Yeah.
I took notes of everything I needed, how I could improve myself as a streamer, but also
Mm-hmm.
the quality of my streams for
Yep.
people to watch.
Yep.
And then just slowly started checking those items off of that checklist until I landed into a comfortable spot for my streams in order to continue to keep streaming.
Right. Yeah. I also remember as soon as you said like Googling facts and information and everything, I remember those days. Like I
Yeah.
remember, I had my 2010 MacBook Pro, that was like slowly dying, but it still had enough power. And I was like, how do I even connect stuff? How do I even read chat? Because I don't want to read it
Yeah.
through like the PS4 or whatever, right? So I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, if I'm streaming through the PS4, it's actually I'll be able to see the stream on Twitch because that's where I'm streaming to. So like the
Yeah.
the most basic of things is just like that process of gaining knowledge and information about the field that you were in, which is so much bigger than we knew at the time, right? When
Yeah.
you and I started off, it's just like, man, we just hit Google hard, we hit YouTube hard because how
Yeah.
does this stuff work? Super
Exactly.
intriguing. But I remember those days, and my God, they were amazing. But I do remember the giddy feeling. Like every time I would like gain another piece of information that was stream related or how to connect stuff, how to do stuff better on the website, even uploading panels, I was just so
Yes.
giddy. I was just like, yeah, I want to do this. I want to make it look amazing.
Yep.
And hence starts the fire of a true content creator. Now that being said, there have been, I remember a couple years ago I read a stat. The fire might be ignited, when you're starting off as a streamer. But there's some stats like 90 or 95% of streamers do not go, like they quit before they attain 100 followers.
Yep.
Right? I mean, that's mind-boggling, okay?
Yeah.
That's like, so it's either too hard, they bottom out, they lose interest, they blah blah blah. There's no quick success, there's no recipe for like, well, oh, I thought I'd be averaging 100 viewers by now, and
Yeah.
there's no sense of there's more of a sense of entitlement and disappointment than there is of sticking with it, grinding, right? Everyone likes using that term,
Yep.
but really working hard for something that you believe in. And there is
100%.
no recipe for quick, easy, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
Gaining a community, and that's when things start switching from these are actual people that are taking time out of their day to watch me to now you're just a number. These viewers are numbers on a screen, and I just want them to chat. Well, they're not AI generated bots. These are people
Exactly.
that actively want to chat in your stream with you, right?
Yep.
So like why do you think that people lose interest if like going towards those stats? And they've probably changed. I know that I read that maybe 2-3 years ago, but let's say 90% of streamers beginning out like you and I were in the beginning, why are they losing interest? Why are they bottoming out before they reach right around the 100 follower mark, and they just boom, that's it, I'm just gonna hang it up, it's not for
Yeah.
me. Do you think it's work ethic, mentality? Like, well, I mean, there's so
So
many things.
yeah, and I think a little bit of everything plays a part in that as well. So not only is it it could be work ethic, it could be just trying to quickly get that amount of success that maybe their peers or other mentors or idols of the streaming community they follow. They
Yeah.
want that level of status as well.
Right.
But it also can boil down to maybe possibly personal life, IRL
Mm,
things or
mm,
obligations outside of that they had the right intentions and they wanted to grind for streaming, but maybe it's just not in the plans or in the cards at this moment, and they'll revisit it down the line. Um, but definitely a vast majority of them are on that fast track. They want to figure out a way that
mm, mm.
if I can start streaming, I want to be able to, by the end of this month, I want to have 100 followers and I want to be averaging 30, 40 viewers so I can
Right.
do it full time and quit my job, stay at home and just stream and make content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Right.
Um, and a lot of them don't want to put in the work. They don't want to do the research.
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want to grind as much as they see it as a grind, right?
Right. Yep.
And you can relate to this as well as I'm sure any other content creator and streamer. Um, there's no get rich quick schemes.
Right.
There's no overnight success.
Yep.
You can't just instantly go from an average 1 to 2 viewer streamer to pulling tens of thousands of viewers
Right.
overnight.
Right.
Um, Now, I will say, I'll knock on wood because there are that slight 0.1%
Yeah.
that do you happen to do that because they did something on another social media platform that
Right.
helped them go viral. That kind of gave them that instant success, but
Mm.
after a while, that tends to kind of plateau out,
Yeah.
and then after X amount of time, you start to go back and look at those people, and you see this slow diminishing return
Right.
of their viewer count, steadily dropping month after month after month, because it was like that quick 15 minutes
Mm-hmm.
of fame,
Yep.
and then it just washes out, and they move on to the next thing. So I definitely think it's a mixture of a lot of things, and like I said, anybody in the streaming community will tell you that you know most of us have been at this for years upon years of
Mm-hmm.
streaming and
Mm-hmm.
slowly working to kind of build the community, build our streams to perfection. And, it's going to still be building on our community and our streams for the next, 10, 15 years. 'Cause
Yep.
everything's changing, everything's evolving. And there's always research and work to be put into your content.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely right. Um, I found that out for the good portion of the first couple years of streaming, because I truly felt like, for me it was a calling from the beginning, and
Yeah.
like I didn't care about the paychecks. I mean, I told my wife early on, I was like, yeah, I mean, be getting paid for this would be fantastic, but if I get a
Yeah.
penny for my streaming efforts and I'm just putting up my own personal money to build something, like just physical, like PCs that I need to stream
Yep.
on, right? That sort of stuff. I would be okay with that, because for me, the goal, the dream, the vision, the calling, all of those things outweighed and still do, even though I've dropped to, somewhat part time now. They still outweigh the immediate gratification, the paying, the payoffs and whatever.
Yeah.
I've just always kind of, I guess, viewed the community as real, genuine friends that I want to connect with, and the non-real
Yep.
ones will weed themselves out. But like
Yes.
the friendships, the countless hours that I spend with either you and the boys, and my mods, and just chatting, talking, gaming, brainstorming, making ourselves better, that outweighs everything else in my mind. It is the
Yep.
true, genuine connections that was my driving force, that was, and still is, the main thing that I still focus on. I
Yeah.
may not get a constant payout, month to month now, but I'm just like, well, I know that in one way or another, my community still needs me to show up. My
Yep.
viewers, they still desire my content, but they also still desire friendship. And as long as I have
100%.
that friendship established, I am going to show up, and like provide that and be there
Yeah.
for them. There's been so many times throughout the years too, taking this like the next kind of segment, I guess, in the conversation, but there's this mentality of you are something that you don't see in yourself that someone else desperately needs for them at this moment, right?
100%.
So, and I think that's so undermined in the gaming realm and the gaming community as a content creator, a true, genuine, down to earth content creator might not have the biggest audience. Maybe you do, but above everything else, like there's the comparing game and there's the doubts, which we'll get to. That's going to be our next talking topic. But above all, like, what can I do? what, like, it's just me, who am I,
Yeah.
right? Like, there's just like these little questions that you ask, and then all of a sudden you'll have your community that comes through, and someone will pipe in, I really needed your energy today. I really
Yep.
needed your encouragement. I really needed your, like, just love and support, to either, I mean, it could be as simple as getting you through the workday, or it could be just, we've had one of our previous, current viewers. He's not in here all the time, but one of our community members literally was battling cancer and coming through, and every single day for like 6 months, and he's just like, I just need this few hours with you, because that would change my mentality to fight more and continue on to the next day.
Yeah.
That changes something in your mentality when you start hearing things like that. That
100%.
changes your entire perspective as a creator, and content, the type of content that you're pushing out, because now
Yeah.
it's just, you're not going to be some doomsday guy slouched in your chair, like, oh yeah, I guess we're live again. It's just
Yeah.
like, holy smokes, every single day I'm looking forward to seeing my crew, and that's what matters. That's what I love, and I'm going to
Yep.
support these people. Like, that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother level.
Oh, no, 100%. I agree, and when I first started out, doing content creation,
Yeah.
I started making YouTube videos or little like mini series for games. And I was never in it for, I'm waiting for, YouTube to partner my channel. I'm waiting for that big check to come through.
Mm-hmm.
I, everybody comes into this uh, hobby or profession, if you would say, with the end goal of, wanting to potentially do it full time, and there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. That I think anybody who wants to do content creation and stream full time
Mm-hmm.
should 100% do it.
Right.
Um, but there comes a point where you have to, like you said, you start to kind of reflect on
Mm.
your surroundings and the
Mm-hmm.
community that you're growing. And it's like you said, don't see what other people see in you
Yep.
when they watch you, when they watch your content. And a lot of people, take that for granted with their
Mm-hmm.
communities or with the content that they're creating. Um, but it's always like they say, a little goes a very long ways, and
Mm-hmm.
just simply being positive,
Yeah.
and have a welcoming aura about yourself. Have a loving community, have a place where people can feel happy and safe and encouraged to, face whatever battles or struggles are going on in everyday life, even if they come in your chat for 5 minutes just
Mm-hmm.
to say, hey, Bitsy, hey, Lion, amazing stream today. You're doing great. And you just respond with a positive message back. And that right there could set them up. Anybody can be on the brink of anything or going through something. And all they're looking for is somebody to have that, you know, empathy for them and make them feel welcome in a safe place that they know that they can consistently check in with and
Yeah.
have a place to kind of hang out.
Right. Yeah. No, that is 1,000,000% correct. And I mean, I had one in my notes, like, what is the motivation? What motivates you? Question mark. And I think, I mean, we totally just answered that, because motivational factors for streaming, whatever reason you're doing it, whether you love games, you love to stream, because I mean, there's a technical aspect of it too. Like, I love computers, I love building them,
Yeah.
I love, like, hooking up wires, audio, visual, video cards, all that stuff. It's fun. Or if you're just, so whether, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, whether you're casual or professional or whatever, it has to start with the right motivation. You have to be in the right mentality. Um, but also, like, as far as um, like, talking about mentality and stuff, how, like, throughout the years of content creating, how do you get, like, mentally prepared? And what I mean with that is, like, expanding on that is, dealing with trolls, dealing with the naysayers, dealing with, well, I mean, family that might come against you. Whether, I mean, I know that there are people like out there that like, oh yeah, I started streaming, my own entire family tunes in and they love me streaming. That's not the case for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the past 7 years of streaming has been literally an uphill climb. My family has been negative towards streaming the entire 7 years. They do not
Yep.
support me. They don't follow me. They don't, my in-laws, they do not support me. They hate the fact that I stream. They hate the fact, and I quote from my in-laws, you just sit on your ass and play games all day. That's not a job, right? I mean, like I've heard it all. I have heard
Yeah.
it all until recently. Even recently, one of our past community members, of course, I won't mention names, but he goes, your stream is dead. Just give up, right? And he was previously banned, and that was his unbanned message, right? Your stream is dead. Just give up already. All right. What? Yeah.
Wow.
How do we? Like it used to affect me a lot more than it does now. But my God, how do you
Yeah.
pick yourself up? Like how? What do you like? What for you? What has helped you?
Yeah, I mean, there have been plenty of naysayers and
Mm-hmm.
trolls and haters and you know, like you said, even family members.
Yeah.
Starting out, I used to be so excited to want to go and tell my parents. You
Mm-hmm.
know, even when I first started getting the grasp on streaming,
Yeah.
um, and when that first donation comes through and you're
Mm-hmm.
just like you want somebody to be happy and celebrate with you and congratulate
Yes.
you on your hard work, and for them to just be like, I mean, that's what, $5 you could have,
Right. Right.
you could have went and got a job at Burger King and flipped a one burger and made more than that. And it's just it's very emotionally damaging and
Yes.
crushing
Yes.
to know that I sat here for months and hours a day researching and figuring all this out and basically busting my ass. And this is the thanks I get,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
there's no ounce of, being proud for
Yep.
for me or just even just a little bit of encouragement,
Yep.
even, I mean, at that point in my life, even if you didn't mean it 100%, just a little bit of positivity would have helped me out, you
Mm.
know?
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, as far as keeping a strong mental
Yeah.
focus and attitude and going forward, and I think this kind of just comes with age
Yeah.
and
True.
time.
True.
Um, as you go through life and as you progress through life, whether it's streaming, content creation, or anything else that you want to do, chasing your dreams, there are always going to be people who want to drag you down.
Yep.
They don't want to see you succeed
Yep.
for whatever that personal vendetta with them is. That's between them and their own thoughts. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people's mentality is they don't want to see you, see you succeed,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want you to have that um, gratification of having your hard work pay off. But I think for me, the thing that kind of keeps me focused is that for every person that tells me I'm not able to do it or
Mm-hmm.
that I can't do it and I'll never be successful, that not only does that push me to kind of prove them wrong
Mm.
and step up to the plate even more,
Right.
but I know that for that one person that said that I would never be something,
Mm-hmm.
there are another 2 or 3 people behind them that are going to support my idea and
Yeah.
love the work that I put in
Mm.
and appreciate the time and effort that I put into building this community and having a positive environment for people to kind of hang out in. Um, whether it comes with a paycheck or not, at the end of the day, for me, it's more just about having that feeling, that
Yeah.
sense of family. I've met more friends and built more longer lasting friendships online with people I've
Right.
never met a
Yeah.
day in my life than
Yeah.
I have with actual family members and friends in
Yeah.
this state that I live in.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
um, it blows my mind that a lot of people don't understand the concept. And I
Mm,
get that it could be from, different backgrounds or upbringings, different generational periods and times, as
true.
far as like working and things of that nature as well. But,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, it's just times are changing, and you want to be able to kind of understand that, you know, what our parents did 30,
Mm,
40 years ago, working at the age of 16,
right.
all the way up until, it's time for retirement, providing for the house,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the dad wakes up, goes out, works all day, comes home to a nice cooked meal, raises the kids, things of
Right.
that nature. Times are evolving. We're, so far ahead in technology advancements and the way that society has progressed over the past 40 years.
Yep.
Um, you know, our kids and our grandkids, are going to be, making their own living doing something completely different than
Yeah,
what we're
that's
used
true.
to now.
That's true. Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where some people can transition and
Mm,
support, their kids and loved ones with streaming and making a career out of it. Some others are kind of just stuck and set in that mental time period
absolutely.
of, this is how I was raised, and you need to be that exact way. You need to be
Yep.
hardworking,
Yep.
need to have a job and go to work every single day, provide for your family, and by any means necessary, um, do what you have to do, to clock in and clock out.
Yep.
So I think it's just that generational disconnect
Yeah.
that a lot of the times for, loved ones and parents,
Mm-hmm.
they don't quite understand, why does my kid want to do this?
Right.
Did I mess up somewhere? Did I fail as a parent? And they don't understand that, as society continues to grow and advance,
Yeah.
there are multiple avenues for revenue and making a living, not
Mm-hmm.
just, waking up at, 8:30 to go clock in at 9 and then clock out at 5 o'clock and come home.
Yep.
So
I'm really, really happy that you touched on all of that because, I mean, that's the other thing. Like for me, for the past 7 years, like I've viewed it as hard work, right?
yes,
You up at 8, 9, and then I mean, when I was full time, right? 8, 9, eat breakfast, hit the PC, turn everything on. Just refining, right?
yeah,
Whether that's, I mean, I don't care if I'm updating drivers for my graphics card. That's still part of my job. I don't care if I'm playing COD. That's still part of my job. Making YouTube videos, TikToks. That's still part of my job. Video editing, graphic design for other streamers. That's still part of my job, right?
yep,
And then you just go till 2, 3 a.m.
yeah,
So I mean, you're talking. I mean, people are like, why do you pay, $600 for your chair? Because I sit for 14 hours a day and
exactly,
like my back needs it, my ass needs it. Sorry, chat. But like my body physically needs it. Why? Because you're
yeah,
literally doing something. Office work is very similar. If you have an office job, you just go, you sit for 9 to 5, take an hour lunch, and you're good to go. But
exactly.
it's all very tolling. And the thing is, and that is a disconnect, especially with the last generation, because I've tried to explain it hundreds of times to my parents and my in-laws and some of my other friends, and they're just, nope, 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 not seeing it, not buying it, nope, still
Yeah.
stupid, and my goodness, how
Yeah,
different how different it is.
it can definitely be very rough to kind of, you know, uh, per se convince people, that it is actually a job. It is.
Mm-hmm.
And um yeah, we may not get paid as frequently or as regularly as a actual, government job or
Right.
actually going to a place to clock in and clock out where all of our hours are accounted for and we're getting
Yeah.
paid for every second that ticks by. But, you know, you have to think of it as, you are your brand.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Mm-hmm.
all business owners as
Yeah.
content
Yep.
creators. Our business is streaming, is making YouTube videos, making TikToks. Every morning I wake up, and I turn on my computer,
Yep.
and the moment I hit start streaming on OBS,
Yep.
I just clocked in and opened my
Yeah. Yeah.
business.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, as you know, in terms of like revenue generation and things like that, like every business generates revenue differently, and
Yeah.
some take more time than others, but it's more so about the desire, the passion to want to be able to sit here at my computer, look at my camera, and know that
Mm-hmm.
somewhere out in the world there are other people sitting looking at me
Yep.
enjoy this game
Yep.
and me enjoy their presence
Absolutely.
and making people happy. You know, if I could do streaming full time and do content creation and not break in a dime, and just know that my presence
Yep.
could actually make a difference in somebody's life,
Mm-hmm.
whether they are, you know, dealing with mental health issues or just actual health issues or anything that's going on with them, knowing that they can come to me
Yeah.
and enjoy watching me. And just like that, I've, you know, pulled them back from, you know, the point of no return or just
Yeah.
brightened up their day. In a heartbeat, I would love to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is I feel like that's such a unique calling. Like not every job you have the opportunity to do that. I mean you'll have coworkers and you have opportunities to brighten people's days. Um but I
Yeah.
also feel like it being what we do being online is makes it even a little bit more unique because it's not that physical interaction, which us as humans do need and we do desire, but
Yes.
there's the comfort. There's a certain comfort that comes from being in your own space and being in your own home, whether you're struggling or not, and still typing through the keyboard to the streamer and their encouraging words and their mentality. You could feel energy through watching a
Yes.
stream, right? So,
100%.
so there's like that such unique mixture of interaction, relationship, although it might not be face to face. You're standing 3 feet away from me, and it could be through a monitor. Like you said, you're streaming to people all across the world, right? We have viewers in Australia, New Zealand, Europe, Canada,
Yeah.
right? But there is still that comfort of whether I'm doing well or not in my own home, my own car, doing whatever, and I still feel completely connected and encouraged by the things being said and shared.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. It still does. It never gets old. It's something that just it does not ever expire
Yeah.
in my head. And it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
No, and I think that, you know, in the kind of, you know, transition and flow that into, you know, talking about mental health and
yeah,
things like that. I
yeah,
think I think that, you know, being a content creator, um, big or small, and you know, coming from me personally, who, you know, I've dealt with, you know, mental health issues, depression and things like
yeah,
that
yeah.
for a couple years back. You know, just kind of being able to find somebody and take a load off of
Mm,
my real world problems and feel so happy and
mm-hmm,
welcomed,
mm-hmm.
and just sit at my computer and just watch somebody play and have a good time and make me laugh. And you know, they ask you, you know, how you feel. They relate to you.
Mm,
They want to know about you. You know, what games do you enjoy? And it's just that welcoming feeling of being accepted and knowing that
absolutely.
I'm not the only one going through these things. And there are people out there who I've never met.
Yep.
I probably will never be able to shake your hand or give you a hug or you know, physically hang out with you, but knowing that they care
Yep.
really goes a long way for some people. And it definitely did for me.
Yeah.
And being able to kind of reciprocate that energy
Mm,
because I've experienced it myself,
yep.
and knowing that, you know, there are going to be people who come through and won't necessarily be having a great day, or they're depressed, or they, you know,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with anxiety, but kind of taking that load off and being able to relax knowing that you care about them,
Yeah.
even though you'll probably never meet them. is otherworldly experience and
Yep.
feeling
Yes.
for the heart and mind, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, that um kind of begs the question, like, what um do you use other creators, or is it more like personal time, personal reflection, that to like motivate you for like the following day, or hitting the live button, or like whatever? Does it transpire from other like creators, or is it off like the streaming platforms that you find, or is it just simply like going out and touching some grass and then coming back like, okay, I feel refreshed, you know? Or because that is also a real thing. That also helps mentality and mental health
Yeah.
as well. Because my God, if you're not getting outside, getting that vitamin D and K and whatever else the sun provides, and going for a
Yeah.
walk and a stroll, and actually going touching some grass in a park, and throwing around a soccer ball and football, whatever. Um, but like I know that I guess it depends on the day for me. Of just if I'm feeling down. Now this is like a borderline concept here, right? So I use fellow content creators and my friend streamers, and fellow streamers, and then some of the bigger boys on the platform on Twitch, for inspiration, right? I watch Summit1G practically daily. He is like my number one go-to. Him, Nick Merckx, Tim, you know but especially just Summit. He's like very chillax, very, there's just the right vibe, right? The right frequency.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
then, but then I have these other days where I'm just like, you know what? I hate Summit. He's so successful. Like, I'm not watching someone with 30,000 viewers. Like, f that guy. And just I can't. And I'll tell you why that is, though, is because then like I've gotten to the point where it dips down into the comparison game. Like, I'm failing, I'm a failure. This is trash. Everything's trash. The world is garbage. I hate people, and
Yep.
like all this mentality. I know that this resonates with like you and hopefully some other people, because I've been there many times, having to pick myself up out of that mentality. But it's a dangerous place to be. I even wrote
Yes,
in
it
my
is.
notes like the whole comparison game. So anyway, going back to like, who do you use, what do you use as inspiration in that reset button for you? Just like, yeah, I feel fresh going, hitting that live button. Like, what makes you put boop, go live, versus like, you know what, I hate people, I'm not going live. Like, they could, whatever.
um yeah, so definitely I definitely will use other streamers from time to time for sure, big and small. um Obviously, the man, the myth, the legend, Itsy Bitsy 30.
Oh,
Gotta watch him when you're not feeling, when you're having a bad day. Uh um no, but I'll go and hang out in like Nade Shot stream. Nade
yeah,
Shot by
yeah,
far is probably, um if I could have dinner and meet anybody in the world, I'd
yeah.
love to sit down with Nade Shot and just talk. The guy is, obviously he's the GOAT, but he has such a super relaxing and
Mm,
welcoming aura about the
yeah,
guy, and
yeah.
he truly is amazing. He's positive vibes and things like that. Um, and then there are days where, maybe I don't want to watch,
Mm,
a streamer. Me personally, I have found a very deep connection with music.
mm,
Um, Music is kind of like my gateway
yeah.
for, kind of just letting things out.
Mm,
With a multitude of other physical activities as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
The gym, even just going out and spending, time with loved ones,
Mm,
going out to eat,
true.
things of that nature as well. Just kind of like dabbling in stuff like that, and a lot of different things. But um, anything really to kind of just get my mind off of what I was dealing with,
Mm,
and having that moment by myself later on to just be
yeah,
like, okay,
yeah.
listen, we're all going to face hard times. Yes, things aren't going the way they are now, but you'll never know what's going to happen with
Mm-hmm.
your career or your content if you
Yeah.
don't press that start streaming button.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's like the famous quote that everybody says, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Yep.
So
Yep.
why would you gatekeep yourself
Right.
from the people who enjoy watching you, the people who enjoy being around you,
Mm-hmm.
and gatekeeping the potential ones who are going to come to you and join your community, make it grow even further.
Mm.
um, it's kind of that thing where it's like you want to do that. You kind of snap out of it and you realize,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, for a moment there I was slipping, and,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay to. It happens to everybody. We all get
Right.
burnt out and we all have our moments where it's just like, it's becoming too much. I don't know if I can keep doing this. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if I can push any further. And, even if you have to take a couple days off,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, the biggest thing is communication, right? Communicating with your community. Hey guys,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really in a place right now where I want to be,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, streaming and putting out content. I'm going to take a couple of days, uh, for myself and kind of collect myself, and I'll be
Mm-hmm.
back stronger and better than ever.
Yep.
And, once you come back, as soon as you press that start streaming button, you're instantly reminded why
Yeah.
you chose to do what you do,
Yep.
because your community comes and they just flood you with, positivity and love and hype, and now you're like, okay, now I remember why I do this. Now I remember why I'm here, and I want to continue to do this, and nobody's perfect. Everybody has those dark days, and that's how it is, and
Yeah.
that's what makes us human. We all face adversity, we all
Mm-hmm.
face obstacles,
Yeah. Absolutely.
but it's how we pick ourselves up and present ourselves and continue to push forward that will
Mm-hmm.
separate, the strong-willed from the weak ones. So
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. I've seen some influencers, like some salesmen, if you were, as it were, on TikTok and come through and it's just like, if you are a burnout, you're something's like wrong with yourself, not like burnout should never happen.
yeah,
And I'm just like, I don't even think that's right. Like
yeah,
I've been meditating on that for, a while, because you could go for a long time without burnout, right?
yes,
But like you said, we are at the end of the day literally still human. So
100%.
where like our emotions, they will range up and down. We will hit the blockades in our mind and emotions of just, I mean, what if you have like, a huge emotional day with family members, right? And
Exactly.
you have just had it. You have just
Yep.
had it, right? And so it's just like, I don't think, I mean, definitely have taken the time off from streaming, upwards like a month and a half, just straight boom, no streams, no nothing. Didn't really communicate in Discord. Gamed a little bit here and there, but for the most part, it was code quiet from Bitsy, and everyone like knew it. But then on like, I think I took a break for about a month and a half, and I think on the last like 2 weeks I kept telling Emily like, oh my god, like I'm ready to get back into the saddle, like I'm ready, I
Yeah.
feel it, I know it, right? So then I started making these like little graphics of just like, I wanted to do a 5-day countdown, and I would post like 5 days prior of me of that going live day, of just like
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, can't wait to see you guys. Let me tell you, that was one of the best campaigns I've ever run. I had
I
so much, and you might even remember that.
I remember it. Yeah, you had
Yeah.
the little you had the trailer.
Oh, and the
Yeah,
trailer. That's right.
the
That's
trailer.
right.
Yes. That was yeah.
And I
I
did make
remember that
a
time.
trailer for it too. And my God, I hit the live button. I played the trailer, after the counter went, and my chat was just blowing up. Everyone was just like, oh my God, he's back. That's probably one of the best freaking feelings I've ever felt in like streaming, taking a break
Yep.
and then streaming, like getting right back into it, because
100%.
holy smokes, like, um that was a time, but it was a much needed time off as well, like,
Oh
knowing
yeah.
knowing your limits, knowing your boundaries, because sometimes you do get a little too disgusted with, either situations, humanity, culture, like whatever, it might be even the streaming culture, I mean, half
Yeah.
the time I'm looking at these like, teens that are streaming with dual PCs, $6,000 a piece, and like, oh yeah, I got sponsored from this company, and everything's easy, and their stream room is like 50,000, and and I'm like, what is going on here? But again,
Yeah.
stop with the comparing game. Don't look at other people. Your journey
Yep.
is your own journey, and there's no other lion out there. Well, there's actually a lot of like lion streamers, but there's no the known as lion out there. There's no
Yeah.
the itsy bitsy 30 out there. The content that each one of us possess is unique to us. And why do you think that there's so many different like campaigns and health programs out there? Because everyone
Yep.
wants to get in on this is the best protein shake, this is the best exercises for abs, this is the best, right? And you're like, is there enough? Like, I think we've had enough of these. But what people don't understand is there's 8 billion people in the world to process through. Even if you had
Exactly.
hundreds of thousands of people saying this is the best protein shake, this is the best whatever, they're going to still be seen by millions and millions of people. There will always be a place for you in the world, right?
Yes.
No one has, like, even in your entire lifetime, not the entire world will experience and see and come across you, specifically in content, right?
Yeah.
You online. Even the most famous of Twitch streamers, they have had tens of millions of views on their live streams, right? They have 6, 7, 10, 12, 16, like Ninja. I think he's pushing either 16 or 18 million followers on Twitch, right? That's
Yep.
tens of millions of followers, but is it 8 billion? No.
No.
He could stream his entire life every single day and still not be found by every single. And that gives me hope. That really gives me
Yeah.
hope, because it's just like, when I feel like, what is my content worth? Why am I even pumping out content? Who's seeing it? The same 15 people are coming to see it. It's just like, oh yeah, okay, I have a base, a foundation, a loving community of 15 solid
Yep.
people watching me. And then we take that, we traverse with our content, other platforms, all this stuff, so that all the rest of the world could potentially see our content.
Exactly.
I mean, it's you got to fight for this stuff,
Oh no. Yeah. It's definitely tooth and nail. You
Yeah.
definitely gotta.
If you think
you-
that sitting there creating content is going to, be the case, no. Like, I recently put
Yeah.
out a tweet, like, if you're sitting there and you're just playing EFT and you're quiet because you're waiting 7 minutes between each raid, you need to start talking. You have to start talking, communicating with your audience. You have one viewer for a reason. You have 3 viewers
Exactly.
for a reason. If you want 10,
Yep.
12, 15, 20, 100 viewers, you have to do something different, than what you're currently doing to push that interactivity up a notch, right? I'm not saying
Exactly.
I have it all figured out. I don't have 100 viewers, but I am very grateful for what I have and have established. And I would like to think that I've learned a lot throughout the years that, I've streamed. So,
Yeah. And I'm glad that you brought that point up as well, because I have a coworker who knows that I stream, and
yeah.
had just recently told me that he wants to get into streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of asked me about it, and
Yeah.
I told him that the very first thing that I told him, word for word, I said, as soon as you go live for the first time,
Yeah.
you have to understand
Uh-huh.
that discoverability is a thing, and it may take some time, but
Mhm.
when you stream, you need to act and talk and present yourself as if you're streaming to hundreds of thousands of people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Whether you have 0 or 1 or 100,000, you should always be the same. Be who you are,
Mm-hmm.
but prepare yourself and kind of get yourself in that mindset of, I'm streaming to X amount of people, so
Absolutely.
I need to constantly talk. I need to always provide content. I need to be able to, so that moment that people start flooding in, or you get hit with a big host,
Yep.
you don't just freeze up and your content dries out because you're, shell shocked from everything going on. Being able to kind of put yourself in that mindset very
Yeah.
early on
Yep.
will help you a long way. And I wish it's something that I knew when I first started out. I was
Hmm.
very, very shy and very kind of like awkward
Right.
because I was like, all these people are watching me and
Yeah.
I don't know any of you guys. So I'm like, I don't know what to say or what to do.
Yeah.
Um, and, you know, and I think that's where a lot of benefits are coming from this day and age too. We have a lot of resources now versus what we had back when we started streaming.
Oh yeah.
Um, there are so many different applications and ways to kind of help you prepare yourself to
Yep.
start content creation and get kind of like a leg up on the competition versus you know the brick and mortar, the stone and chisel
Hmm.
methods that we had back in the day
Right.
of figuring everything out. And so yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up because, and this goes for anybody else listening and
Hmm.
wanting to get into content creation as well.
Yeah.
I think that if you want to do content creation, whether it's purely streaming, purely TikTok or YouTube videos, 100% do it.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody tell you no. You are your own worst enemy when it comes to following your dreams. And
Yeah.
I think that um, it's a leap of faith. You'll never ever know
Yeah.
truly if you're ready for it. You'll
True.
never know if you're going to fail or be successful.
Yep.
Um, but it's a leap of faith. You have to be confident within yourself and the abilities that you have to, have that passion and drive to want to do content creation. And I 100% will support anybody and everybody who
Mm.
takes on that leap and
Yep.
wants to do that. I think it's an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, no, I 100% back up everything that you just said. And that's I still tell people that because some of my coworkers at the other job, oh, I've thought about it. Oh, I've built a PC, but never really streamed, but I want to. I will one day.
Yeah.
And every single time I'm like, you really should. You really should, because it's not just like externally, like just like a quick blimp in third person view from looking at the entire life retrospectively.
Yeah.
We're honed in of the deep dive of the emotional state of streamers, us as people, content creators, all this stuff. But looking outside of ourselves and looking at just other creators, there are skills that you build doing this job that do attribute and can be put on a resume, right? I
Yes.
can put on my resume that I have owned and run my own business for the past 7 years, right? I have entertained hundreds of people. I have accumulated thousands of followers. I have been rated by thousands of people. I have all these different things. So there's communication skills there. There's,
Yeah.
entertainment qualities. There's, all these different things. So if nothing else, try it for a few weeks, try it for a few months. You'll learn
Yeah.
stuff about yourself. You'll push yourself in things that you didn't think you would, right?
Oh, 100%.
So like retrospectively, like, like wide angle lens here, like what's the worst that could happen? You build a PC, you stream games, you build a little audience, even if it's, 5, 10, 12 people, and you start learning things about yourself you never thought you would, and you start doing things
Exactly.
right. So and that's the other reason why I encourage people to start streaming. They'll start finding if it's a passion, if it's not, if it's casual, if it's professional. Do you want to go competitive? Do you want to just sit there and chat with people in a just chatting stream? You don't even have to play games.
Yep.
I saw a recent TikTok of a creator saying, hey, I think that every streamer should do like start off their stream with a just chatting segment for at least 30 minutes. And because it connects with your community, you're doing nothing but talking and getting to know individual people within your community before you're just like, hey guys, okay, let's play COD. And it's just where's the interactivity? You'll have some,
Yeah.
right? But it's not this next 30 minutes to an hour is your guys' time as a community. Talk to me. Tell me,
Yep.
how's life? How's
Yeah.
work? Oh my God,
That's
your car broke down. Stuff like that. And all
yeah.
of a sudden, you start really deep diving into people's lives, the connectivity and interaction is 100 times accentuated,
100%. Yeah.
right? And it's important.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing to do, is and that kind of goes back on everything that we've talked about so
Yeah,
far,
yeah.
building that sense of community, that safe place, that safe haven.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like you said, streaming will make you find out more things about you that
Yep.
you never knew that you were
Yep.
capable of doing or possessing. Uh,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know people who struggle from, social anxiety. They're not
Mm-hmm.
really a people person.
Right.
And, once they kind of put themselves in that position, like, and I always look at it as, if you want to grow and you want to do something and you want to kind of move forward, you have to be comfortable putting yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Yes. Yep.
Otherwise, you're never going to grow as a person, and you'll
Absolutely.
never be able to kind of tackle some obstacles that you'll be faced with. So, you know, knowing people who are, kind of socially awkward or have anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
and getting into gaming, not even content creation, but just gaming in general,
Right.
helping break that kind of boundary or that barrier that
Mm-hmm.
stops them from being, social, to being just an outright, people person now. Like,
Yep.
they're able to communicate, they're able to kind of display who they are without any type of hesitation or
Mm-hmm.
blowback from their, anxiety. It's amazing what your body and your
Yeah.
mind can
Yeah.
achieve when you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation to allow yourself to grow. So,
Absolutely. That's huge. That's huge.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that's really good. I like that a lot. Um, sheesh. Man, Lion straight up spitting facts. Chat, can we all agree that this has been absolutely like what a time? I mean, we're finishing up here, but not quite. But I just want to say thank you. Huge shout out to Lion. I mean, this has been an amazing past hour. I can't believe it's been already an hour and 6 minutes.
Yeah, I
Like, holy
know. It's
smokes, did it go quick?
time is flying.
But man, do I appreciate the things that you've said. I value what you've said. I appreciate your heart, your mentality. Appreciate you being part of my community. And just like a genuine IRL friend. Like, I mean, we've
Yeah.
met before. I've given you a hug before. It was an amazing
Yep.
experience. And then we game daily. But I just want to do a quick shout out to you because you're an awesome, really cool guy. I hope you know that.
Awesome. No, I appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you.
Absolutely. And then, all right, so a few other points that I just had, real quick. As far as like on the streaming, gaming side, you're in the zone, you're gaming. How do you like keep chat interactive? I know there's like channel points. I know there's like things to do. There's bots. You could like program a whole bunch of stuff. I think people are doing stuff with AI nowadays in their chat.
Yeah.
But just like, what would be like your best tip for, I'm live. I have, let's say, 15, 20 viewers, and I also wanted to touch upon this real quick before I continue that thought. You were pro or semi-pro PUBG player, correct?
Yes.
So you have experience in being a esports player. When did you used to like stream that content, or was it just like you and your team practicing and playing offline? Or tell us like real
So
quick about that.
yeah, so most of the time it was offline. Um,
Okay.
every so often I would throw up um, a stream or two whenever we were doing scrims.
Okay.
Um, and on the day there were some days as well that I started streaming, playing PUBG, and just public lobbies. And when the team got on, we just continued
Okay.
to play, pub stomp people. But yeah, like it just it,
And how long
it,
did you
it
do
really
that for?
depended. That was for a little over a year, about a year and a
Okay.
half.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
So
No, I just thought it would be important for everyone to know kind of a little bit more of your gaming background, and that just popped into my head, so I figured I'd ask you to share. So that
yeah,
being said, um, the interactivity of chat and people, and I know we've talked about like holding an audience, not being quiet, that sort of stuff. Have you picked up any like tips and tricks that you found that really worked, as far as, you know, keeping engagement a little bit more up? I know not being silent is a big one. You know,
Yeah.
narrate every single step if you know, of what you're doing if you need to, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Do you have any tips and tricks?
Um, yeah, I've noticed that, one of the ways, when I, stream a game that allows me to use this feature,
Mm-hmm.
I'll use it to the best of my ability. Predictions with channel points.
Oh, okay, okay.
Very huge. And it can be used for a multitude of things.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and kind of getting your chat engaged of kind of like everybody likes to gamble. Whether
Right.
whether you want whether you want to admit it or not, in some way, shape, or form, we have all gambled, whether
Right.
it's at an actual casino table,
Yeah.
opening some type of loot box in a video game,
Yep.
or just rolling the dice to roll the dice. We've all gambled at some point in our lives, and we do kind of get a kick out of gambling.
Yeah.
It's that
Yeah.
50-50 shot of like, am I going to win or am I going to lose it all?
Yep.
Um, so kind of putting yourself in a position where, you can have your chat bet on your downfall or your success kind of
Mm-hmm.
keeps them engaged, from something as simple as, whenever I used to stream, Black Desert Online,
Yeah.
and I go to enhance a piece of gear, just a simple quick prediction. Like, do you think this is going to, succeed, or do you think it's going to fail and I'm just going to lose out on a bunch of money?
Right. Right.
And just kind of putting that up and letting people gamble on what they think is going to happen.
Yeah. I
Even
like that.
things like, you can incorporate it into Escape from Tarkov,
Mm.
go into,
True.
load into streets and be like, am I actually going to live through a streets raid and extract, or are we going to die to head eyes in the first 5 minutes? And,
True.
just kind of have chat, interact and be able to win points that way.
Yeah.
Um, but on top of that, I think um, kind of it really boils down to what you're playing. What are you streaming? Is
Mm.
it something that's a little bit allows you to be a little bit more relaxed and
Mm-hmm.
engage with the with chat, and can chat make decisions for you,
Right.
in terms of like an open world game or a single player game that gives you the options that kind of persuade how the story plays out, versus something like Call of Duty where the results are always going to be the same and
Mm-hmm.
it's more of a competitive streamer has to be focused kind of thing. Um,
Okay. Okay.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I think kind of mixing it up a little bit definitely helps with like channel predictions, and um, even just playing something that allows chat to kind of contribute in a way to dictate how the
Mm-hmm.
story plays out.
Mm. Yeah. True. 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 Um. Yeah, that's really good. I don't think I utilize like predictions near as much as I maybe want to or should. Half the time I
Yeah.
forget about them, but that's a really good point. Um, we gotta have a mod meeting about this later. But no, that's really good. I like that. The other thought that
Oh,
I thought of. Oh yeah, go for it.
sorry. I just and
No,
right
you're
as you
good.
said, right as you said, well, I mean, I had another
Uh huh. Uh
addition
huh.
to add. So,
Yes.
um, but also having a channel point goal. Uh,
Oh.
so I've
Okay.
used this twice now,
Okay.
throughout my streaming career. Once for EFT and one for BDO. And
Okay.
so, essentially, what you can do is you can set a goal for channel points,
Mm-hmm.
and um, so for me, when I did Tarkov, I set it for 60,000 channel points.
Oh dang. Okay.
Um, and each person, I think, has a limit of 2,000 points per day.
Okay.
And I think
Okay.
I think you can change that setting. I'm not 100% sure, but essentially, what I did was once we hit 60,000 channel points, I will go ahead and set up a 24-hour Escape from Tarkov live stream and do a giveaway for a base edition of the game. Um,
Dang. Okay.
or, and with BDO, I did, a 24-hour stream with a bunch of PvP, a bunch of enhancing. in a cosplay outfit and give away some in-game currency for BDO as well. So kind of, you know, that is another way that you can, you know, kind of keep your community and chat
Right.
involved. Like,
Yeah,
oh, there's
yeah.
this, you know, if we once we hit this goal, you know, Bitsy's gonna dress up in a maid outfit and, you know, play this game on stream. And
Oh God.
people want to come in every day and drop that 2,000 points so they can see, you know, they can see you in a maid outfit, you know,
Sure.
doing a
Sure.
floss or something. So
Yep, made
that
outfit
is another
floss
way.
happening. 100K points in stream. I'll make it happen. My
There
God.
we go.
Um, don't don't quote me on that. I know people will. Um, but no, that's really good. That's really good. Appreciate you sharing on that. My goodness gracious. Um, I totally had a thought.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was simply
sorry.
gonna say, sometimes switching up the game like resets my like you that like breath of fresh air. Just like, oh, okay, EFT's done. Moving on to COD. Okay, or
Yeah.
Ranch Sim or some other game.
Yep.
And I know that that's a really good like mental reset as well, is changing up games, unless you're just one of those streamers that legit just goes for one game, balls to the wall. We ain't stopping for the past 7 years. I've only played COD. I'm
Yeah.
semi-pro, whatever. Which is been neither of us, I think.
No. Well,
Like I've grinded EFT for a year, but my
yeah.
God, it's hard.
Yeah, it is rough. Yeah, I
Um,
remember those days.
But yeah, so awesome. I know that it's an hour and 15. I don't want to go too far before we do the finishing touches for this podcast. This has been an amazing time, as always, Lion. Me, specifically, but I think I could speak for everyone here. We do really appreciate your time. We appreciate where you're coming from, your mentality, your words. I know this has been like one of the best times. Like this has been incredible.
For sure. It's definitely been an honor.
Definitely
to be here.
coming back. I think I could definitely say that with confidence. I would love to have many more podcast, episodes with you on the show. I'm gonna open up chat. I know that I didn't prelude normally how I do, but I don't necessarily keep up with chat earlier. So this is your time. A few questions, comments, things you want to ask Lion, things you want to ask me, questions about the podcast, the episode, and things like that. So we'll just have a few minutes while we just open up the chat. I know we got 12 viewers in here. If you guys have questions, like I said, just feel free to ask. Lion and I will be happy to answer. Get the maid outfit, Bitsy, LMAO. Yes, well, now Lion started something that I can't come back from. So, this might, I don't know. I'll have to consider it. It will definitely be a point of consideration. Haven't seen any questions. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I know people like DMC and a few others normally have asked some questions and that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, this is your time. Yeah, I'm wondering about the maid outfit too. Bastion, I questions,
lit the
questions.
fire.
You've lit the fire. Now it's a wildfire. I can't contain it. The community wants what they want.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, Chad. I honestly think that I honestly believe, in a maid outfit, it's the way to go. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, the goal is going to be $3,000, and yeah, this is going to be real intense. Hysterica, thanks for dropping the socials. If you guys haven't done so already, check out the link tree. Is there for you guys. Join Discord, join all that stuff. We do have bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, episodes here of Crawler Theory. We have had, this is our 4th episode. They are publicly available. I post them on YouTube, so definitely go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now's a really good time to also, in our closing thoughts and all that good stuff, is Lion, I believe, has a surprise for us. Tell us about your merch. All right. I know that you've been talking about a merch line in the past.
Yes.
You've created a brand. You've sent me a few files as well, so I guess I will just click on the first one here. I think we'll kind of go from there. I'll share my screen. Talk us through your mentality, how it got started, what it's all about, and then I'm just gonna share the screen here. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. So, yeah, so I had an original thought a couple of months ago to start a clothing line, and it specifically was going to be a gym apparel line.
Okay.
Um, and it started out as DMG, which stood for Dedication Makes Greatness.
Okay.
And I ran into some issues in trying to figure things out with that, and kind of fell off of the deep end and pushed into the pile of unfinished projects that I
Mm-hmm.
have.
Mm-hmm.
Until recently, about a month or so ago, I just had this random inspiration to want to bring that back.
Mm-hmm.
And after so much planning and thinking, I came up with, deciding to change the name from DMG to Limitless Apparel. Um, and basically, with that, being be limitless. There's no limit to the amount of potential and greatness that one person can achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to kind of break free of boundaries and as you guys can see there, cross out the middleman. Don't let there be anything in between what you
Mm.
have and what's stopping you from achieving what you want. There is no limit
Wow.
to anything that you can achieve. So kind of just not making excuses, kind of breaking free of boundaries, and
Yep.
anything is possible. As you can see, some of the slogans that I've come up with for some of the merch,
Yeah.
transcending the norm, the societal norm of, you know, oh, you have to be this way and you have to work a 9 to 5 and you have to
Mm.
be a certain way, and just kind of pushing yourself to be more than that. And when you wear this merch, you should be empowered by the words and the phrases to kind of break free and live your life without, limits, break past it,
Wow.
encourage yourself to continuously move forward and uplift. So that's kind of where the inspiration has come from.
Awesome. Holy smokes. Okay.
Yeah.
You put a lot of time and effort into this. I really appreciate that. That's awesome.
Yeah, no,
Is
I
it
appreciate it.
available? Is it being worked on? Is there a release date? What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so currently I'm still in development right now. I'm
Okay.
working on a few more designs and kind of finalizing those up, as long as everything flows, smooth and getting product, finding,
Mm-hmm.
what type of clothing I want to put this on.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm moving away from strictly gym apparel and it's going to be more of a streetwear thing.
Yeah,
So it pretty
absolutely.
much everyday clothing.
Nice.
Uh, so kind of getting all the pieces put together,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
hopefully, um, technically, it's TBD, to be determined on when we'll have a
Okay.
release. But
Okay.
I can definitely for sure say that um, first quarter of next year we should start kind of getting out some
Okay.
prototypes and some
Yeah.
some photography and the website put together so you guys can kind of see how it's progressing and going from there. So
Awesome. Let's go. Super cool. Appreciate you sharing that. That's awesome.
yeah,
Um,
I appreciate
very
you,
excited to see that.
giving me the platform to show it off.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think a lot of people here looks like chat's very, very impressed. So, as have I. But I was haven't seen the current stuff. So
Yeah,
I know we briefly talked about it like a bunch of months ago. So that's really, really cool. Yeah, definitely. Definitely cool. Also, can we get a shout out, like an official shout out in chat for Known as Lion? Tell us about where you're streaming, how often you're streaming, your schedule, things like that. Anything, social media wise. I know you're in my stream a lot in the chat and we game a lot. But as far as you, your channel, your community, your streaming, where are you at and what are you up to nowadays?
yeah. So currently, right now, I don't have a set schedule. I'm trying to hopefully work back into kind of streaming a lot more frequently than I have been. I've just had some IRL stuff that I've been pertaining to, plus work and things like that. So kind of trying to realign the stars to allow me to get somewhat of a decent schedule going again. But when I do go live, I typically try to stream Escape from Tarkov.
Okay.
I'm pulling away more from BDO, trying to get back more into just a variety of things. I will be live streaming Armored Core 6 tonight. It comes
Yes.
out, and
Okay.
I've been super excited for that game, so I'm going to go crazy
Awesome.
on that. I'm super stoked to do that, but yeah, currently as of right now, nothing is set in stone. Everything is work in progress, trying to get
Okay.
things figured out. But
And platform?
back on Twitch.
Back on Twitch. Okay.
Back on Twitch.
Cool. So yeah, you see the link there in the chat room there, guys. The shout out was given. So just click his name. The message popped up. Follow him. I could guarantee you're not going to be disappointed. All right. He has a great stream, great looking stream, great quality, all that stuff. All the things that I endorse is in Lion Stream as well. Super great guy. Again, Lion, thank you so much for joining in on the episode 4 of Crawler Theory podcast. It's been an absolute privilege hearing your heart, hearing just your mentality. And as we're wrapping things up, any last words to the content creators, the people in the chat, the last word of inspiration from Known as Lion?
So first and foremost, I want to thank you, Bitsy, for being a big staple in my life ever since I've crossed paths with you.
Absolutely.
And for your community as well. All of you are absolute beautiful human beings, and I love and enjoy chatting and being around every single one of you. And to those of you who are new here or are going to see this in the future, just know that you'll always have a community and a safe space right here with me, Bitsy, as well as plenty of other content creators.
Yeah.
And if you're looking forward to trying to stream and trying to do content creation, take that leap of faith. Just take it.
Yep.
Don't let anything stop you. You are your own worst enemy, and put yourself in that uncomfortable situation to force yourself to grow and become a better person. And I promise you will love the result that comes out with it.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
I'm going to wrap things up here. Please remember to all the links in the link tree are available to you guys. Don't forget about those. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. This has been just an absolute blast. Like I don't want it to end. So much fun. But community, I don't know if anyone else is new here. Please do feel free to drop a follow. I greatly appreciate it. Again, this episode is going to be found on the YouTubes. All the previous episodes have been posted there as well. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. There will be a stream, yes, later. I have something happening after this podcast, but stream will be live later. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to Crawler Theory Podcast, and we will see you in the next episode.